Okay, the FA has received an offer for Wembley Stadium in the region of around £800 million from Shahid Kahn, the owner of Fulham FC, and the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NFL. Remember that is very, very vital. Currently, Wembley has Tottenham renting the stadium because their stadium's been rebuilt. We're not sure how behind, because it is slightly behind schedule as well. They might have to play more games there next season. Chelsea and Crystal Palace want to redevelop their stadiums. They also may want to either ground share Wembley whilst that is going on, or their own stadiums are being redeveloped in the next 5-10 years. These are plans that have been submitted. England play their internationals there. The Challenge Cup final in Rugby League is played there. Some Rugby Union club games are played there as well every season. The FA Cup final and both semi-finals are played there, and the League Cup final is played there at Fulham. Fans are already complaining about ticket prices at Wembley. They are very unhappy with the pricing at Wembley. The FA Cup final tickets are too high. Wembley Stadium, the FA hasn't fully paid it off yet. They've still got 6 years of payment plan left, and they came out in January and stated they've signed up to an agreement with the developers and the investors who helped develop the stadium, and the builders and the contractors, to pay off all the debts and pay off the stadium in full by 2024. That's 6 years' time. They've been paying off the stadium for 11 years by this point, so it's going to take 17 years to pay off the stadium debt. It took 6 years to bloody build, so there's already issues with Wembley. Another concern I have is it's going to be foreign owned by someone who's not resident in this country, who will probably rip off the fans who go there. Concern I have. Ticket prices are too high. And if you look at NFL, NHL and NBA tickets, they are in the extortionate prices in real terms. They are far more expensive in real terms than here. They cost a hell of a lot of money. There's already concerns with Club Wembley ripping off fans already. There's been a lot of complaints about Club Wembley, especially with the corporate seats, which regular fans can't get tickets for unless you've got £300 to £400. So there's that. The NFL already hosts these overseas series games, and Tottenham are redeveloping their stadium partly so they can have 2 games a year from the NFL. The NFL pays for. Does that mean that it's going to go up from 4 to 6 games a year in London? Can the infrastructure in that part of London cope with it? So that's interesting. Now, there's rumours that Jacksonville might get relocated, and this is the plan to put a team here. This idea has been floating around for a very long time, and to have an overseas North American franchise in the UK. The NHL and NBA have decided, quite rightly, to not do it because it would cost them more money than it's worth in revenue. They would actually lose money on any overseas project. So they just do the regular overseas European International Series games. Major League Baseball have also had their own problems. They're meant to host games at the Olympic Stadium, pulled out. They're meant to host some more next year. We'll wait and see on that. So there's a lot going on right now. But yeah, I have concerns. He already owns a football club in London at Fulham. So that's interesting. Would he want to move Fulham from Craven Cottage to Wembley? That's away from the traditional fan base. I can't see the fans being happy with that. Does he want to move Jacksonville there? What about the fans in Florida who support the Jaguars? There's a lot of them. And they're just starting to get good again. So I have concerns with that. The prices to see the NFL games are stupidly expensive as well. It's a money grab by the NFL. I'm not a fan of it anymore. I used to be. I'm not a fan of it anymore. It's just a pure and simple money grab. Plain and simple. So I have my reservations. Also, will this guy be willing to take on the debt of the unpaid stadium bill for another 6 years, minimum? Would he be willing to pay millions and millions and millions in costs and interest as well to service that debt and pay it off? When he's already got to pay nearly £1 billion, bear in mind that's not including the debt on the side. That's not including the stadium costs, because if it's my understanding, if you buy something on credit or on finance, you have to have regular payments on it. And when you want to sell on that item, be it a vehicle or a property or electrical appliance or whatever it may be, the new owner sometimes has to take on that debt. Would Shahid Kahn be willing to pay tens of millions of pounds a year out of his own pocket, which will cost him out of revenue? He has to pay for that, which means he'll make less money. This is why I'm having a few reservations about this whole deal. It wouldn't surprise me if the FA sell out. They're cop-outs anyway. I don't think they're a fit and I don't think they would pass the fit a proper person test they set out, but that's a joke. I have my concerns with the FA. There's a lot of structural problems with the FA. I don't think the FA gives a toss about the fans anymore. They got into bed with betting companies for the FA Cup. That backfired. I have issues. Ticket prices are too high. We're not getting listened to as fans. I have concerns about the Rugby League Challenge Cup still being able to play their traditional Challenge Cup final there, which they've been doing for near on 100 years, apart from the brief time it was in Cardiff. So they played it at an Old Trafford, and they're rebuilding Wembley. I have concerns about that. I've got concerns about the League Cup final and the FA Cup final and semi-finals. I have a lot of concerns. And the internationals. A lot of issues there. But anyway, have your thoughts below. I'll be interested to hear what you think. I'm against the idea. I think the FA are money grabbing as well. And it will not benefit us, the regular fans, with our ticket prices. When we want to go to Wembley, we'll be still ripped off for club football and international football. And rugby, league and union. We're still going to get ripped off massively. We're paying too much as it is. And I think the FA are after a money grab. But we shall see. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.